Sometimes I feel like I don't have a partner. Sometimes I feel like my only friend is the team that I cheer for, the team that plays hockey. Lonely as I am, together we win.
Together we cry.
Shut up. That was just this week, but and last week and the week before that. Hi, welcome to Buzzbucks.
Hi.
I'm not Macho Man this week.
Nope.
I'm Bert.
I'm Clay.
And we're here to talk about, oh God, what week is it? 14,
Week 14
of the NHL season. And
January 9th to the 15th.
That's right. And we're here to talk about all the bips and the bops that happened this past week. And also, hey, happy Martin Luther King Day.
Happy Martin Luther King Day.
But yeah, I mean, he doesn't have anything to do with hockey, but that is when we're recording this. So,
Actually, little known fact, wicked slap shot.
He actually invented the knuckle puck that they used in Mighty Ducks. Not everybody knows that.
And the triple deke.
And the triple D. He was a hell of a hockey player. Not many people know that. Anyway. All right. That really threw me off. Before we get into it, though, what are we drinking, Clay?
We are drinking the Bushwick Zombie.
Bushwick Zombie.
Fruit sour out of Kings County Brewing Collective. They're out of Brooklyn, New York. Yeah, I actually know what this is.
It's a pretty cool can design.
So the guy, there's a zombie.
Yeah.
He's got a shirt that says Sour Power.
Sour Power.
He's eating a pizza or holding a pizza, and has a vintage bag. It says vintage.
Well, I like in the background. He's like walking down the street.
Yep.
And on one side of the street, there's skeletons taking kegs out of a truck.
Or putting them into a truck.
And on the other side is just like normal ass people, like just standing
dude
there and watching this dude walk down the street.
Yeah.
And there's a food cart that has a Puerto Rican flag on it.
No, that's
No? Is that not Puerto Rican?
No, it is, but it's not a food cart. It is.
Oh, is it a shaved ice cart?
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah.
It's a cool can.
Yeah, it is.
Let's see how it tastes. Ooh. It's like pink. I saw it.
It's 10.
That's interesting.
What
does that taste like?
Fruit punch.
It does taste like fruit punch. That is what it tastes like.
It's got blueberry, strawberry, and lemon.
Oh, it's the blueberry I'm tasting. Yeah.
It's 4%. It's yummy.
Oh, yeah. This is pretty weak. But I presented Clay a choice of what beers we were going to have, and the other one was 11.5. So he has to drive home. So we went with the Bushwick right? Bushwick Zombie? Bushwick Zombie, yeah. But Clay is going to start things off this week.
Yes, I am. We're in the Pacific, and we're going north to south. I told you it would be weird.
Why did I let him do it?
All right. Well, I learned something too. It's not Winnipeg that is the farthest north.
Who's the farthest north?
Edmonton.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I'm bad at geography.
I mean, I don't know Canada.
I still,
that well.
to this day, I'm not 100% sure where Delaware is. I'm really not. I'm just not. I know generally where it is. I know it's somewhere around Maryland.
It's a trash state. You don't need to know about it.
Is it between Maryland and New Jersey?
Kind of.
Kinda. Is it like touching both of them?
No, because there's a river.
But it's in that general area,
yeah.
Right? Okay. I'm getting better. That's like the one state that I'm like, I don't know that I know where that is.
Well, it's next to Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that does make sense. But for a long time, I thought it was up in New England.
Oh, really?
For like a long time.
Way too long.
And until like college.
I thought this was a bit for a while.
No, it's not. No. Until like college, I was like, yeah, Delaware's in New England. And then I looked at a map and I was like, that's not where that is. Interesting.
You think first state? It's got to be New England.
Yeah.
No, just middle of the Atlantic.
Yeah, just middle of the Atlantic seaboard. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I digress.
Wow, I thought that was.
There was not a bit. I know I've told you that before. It was not. It's not a bit. Yeah.
Didn't remember it all. All right, so north to south, we are starting with Edmonton.
Okay.
3-1 this week.
Yeah.
Good for them. They started the week by losing to the Kings.
I mean, there's no shame in that.
No, there's
Kings
no
are
shame
having
in
a good
that.
year.
They started losing to the Kings, but then because this was a little California Vegas road trip. Then they beat Anaheim, then they beat San Jose, then they finished the week by beating Vegas.
Nice.
So those games, so it was 3-6 loss, 6-2 win, 7-1 win, and then a 4-3 win. Nice close game with a nice good team. In the Anaheim game, Clem Costin.
Yeah.
Clem.
It's Klim, I think.
Yeah. Clem Costin had 2 goals. They outshot the Ducks 53-23.
Oh, jeez.
It wasn't good for them. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty.
It's bad. It's a lot of shots.
Yeah. And also, Jack Campbell had 3 wins this week.
Hey, look at him.
Look at him.
Maybe starting to heat up.
In the San Jose game, McDavid had 2 goals and an assist.
Of course he did.
Yep, he's at 35 goals on the season.
Yep. He's very good.
They outshot the Sharks 41-26.
All right.
Makes sense for a 7-1 win.
Yeah.
I gotta see if this was right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's a crazy stat. That's why I wrote it down. Face-offs. There were 63 face-offs.
Okay. Wait, can I guess?
Yeah.
Because you said it's a crazy stat. It's in favor of Edmonton?
No.
No?
No.
Did they lose like 50 of them? Of 63?
Close. They lost 41 of them.
It's incredible that they still scored 7 goals.
Yeah. There's a couple of like
pretty insane.
these face-off like differences.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like people
me?
forget how important face-offs are a lot of the time. Because most games, I feel like teams are fairly even.
Yes.
You know, maybe one team has 55% to the other one's 45%. Usually it doesn't get too much crazier than that. But they can turn the game if you're having a lot of defensive zone face-offs and you're winning all of them, or offensive zone face-offs and you're winning all of them. You know, that's taking away scoring opportunity. That's giving you scoring opportunities.
Puts you in a good spot for scoring opportunities. Like, I've seen a couple of Ovechkin goals that were off the face-off. A couple of Tage Thompson goals that are right off the face-off. So,
the loudest water drinker in the entire world.
So you lost. You won 22 out of 63.
63. That's bad.
Not good.
No. They still won, so I guess
they destroyed them. And then Draisaitl had 2 goals in the Vegas game.
Nice. Good to see those guys doing well.
Right.
Because they never do well.
No, not at all.
I say as I'm rolling my eyes out of my head.
Special teams was fine. Just average on both. And, of course, McDavid is going to be their top player with 4 goals and 3 assists.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah. And then Draisaitl had 6 points, and then Nugent Hopkins had 5. So that line's doing work.
Yeah, right on.
All right. Now we're going to go.
Is that all one line?
Yeah.
It's so weird that's 3 dudes that can play center.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah. Well, McDavid, I think, only plays center, but Draisaitl and Nugent Hopkins can swap around.
Yep.
You know.
A little farther south to Calgary.
Calgary.
2-0-1 this week. Oh, also, Edmonton is 24-18-3. They have 51 points.
I did not write down any of mine.
Don't worry about it. They are 5th in the standings.
That's still crazy to me that they're 5th.
Well, because Calgary went 2-0-1. They are 21-14-9. They also have 51 points and are in 4th. So they were on the road as well this week. They started by playing St. Louis twice in a row. Then playing Dallas. The St. Louis game, they lost in overtime, 3-4, where they gave that game away. The first 2 periods were complete Calgary control, and then the third period, they forgot that they had to show up, and
that happens to a lot of teams.
St. Louis just took it back.
I don't know if I'm just like paying attention to the scores a little bit more, but that seems to be happening a lot this year. Where they're just like a team goes up by a lot.
Vancouver doesn't count.
No, that's not even what I was talking about. But like, I've seen the Penguins do it a number of times this season, where they go up like 3-0, and then by the end of the next period, it's the other team's winning. You know,
I am gonna have to. I'm gonna talk another game that team won, but they made it way closer than they should have.
Yeah. But but they're not the only team that's doing that.
No.
There's plenty of other teams that are like, oh, they were up 4-0, and the other team won 5-4.
Yep. So yeah, I saw that this game was on. It was just the third period, so I literally just watched St. Louis come back.
St. Louis come back and tie the game. That's always funny.
And win it.
That's right. They win the game.
It was just absolutely embarrassing for Calgary.
Yeah?
But then...
They almost did it again.
No. So Mangiapane did have a goal and assist that game.
Mm-hmm.
Game 2, they didn't step on the brakes at all.
I was talking about game 3.
Yeah, that is fair.
Yeah.
Well, they played the same team, game 2. So,
that's true, yes.
So they
got a little retribution.
They got a little retribution. They beat them 4-1. Dubé had 2 goals, and they outshot them 40-26.
Yep.
So
that'll do it. That'll make you feel better.
Yeah, that pissed them off. And then they did. They pulled game 1 against Dallas.
They won though. They held on.
They held on. It was
6-5
win. Yeah,
I mean,
like Bert said,
they were up 6-1.
Yeah, they were up 6-1.
Was my point from before.
You let Jamie Benn score a shorthanded goal.
Unbelievable. That old man, slow man.
I think that was Dallas's first goal. Was a Jamie Benn shorthanded. Really? I wrote that down somewhere else, but I forgot those notes.
Whatever.
Kadri had a goal.
We don't need those notes.
It was basically to crap on Calgary because again,
they held on to win this one.
They held on to win this one.
So, got to give them a little bit of credit. I guess.
Yeah, so Kadri is their top player with a goal and 3 assists for this week. They jumped up a little bit in the standings. They're back and forth, but they're neck and neck with
neck and neck.
Their
what's good
biggest rivals in Edmonton. So that's fun.
I know Calgary's record doesn't reflect this really, but they've been kind of inconsistent this year.
Yes.
From what I'm remembering. It's good to see them having a good week.
Yep.
Considering
the year they had last year.
Yeah, the very dominant year
that
they had last year. But then 2 of their players being like, we don't want to play here anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then them having to
figure that out,
which I think they did admirably, but it's going to take some time to adjust.
Well, Huberdeau is going to take longer than Kadri to make an immediate impact, just because of the types of players.
Yeah.
They are.
Kadri's just hard nosed, does it himself kind of thing.
And
Huberdeau
is a passer.
Is a playmaker. He needs people to send the puck to.
And it's not that they don't have people; it's he has to get on the same page.
Just the chemistry, yeah.
And that just takes some time. All right. We're going to talk about the last team in Canada for the Pacific, and that's Vancouver.
I see that record.
Yeah, they had their 18-22-3. They have 39 points, so that's the drop off between 5th and 6th.
He went to the drop off.
To the drop off. Touch the butt.
I'm gonna touch the butt.
They're 1-3 this week.
Yeah, they did.
They lost to Pittsburgh 4-5. They lost to Tampa Bay 4-5. They lost to Florida 3-4, and then they finished the week by beating Carolina in a shootout.
Hey, consistently 1-goal games.
Yes.
I mean, you're losing most of them, but consistently 1-goal games. One game in particular where you were up by quite a bit.
3-1.
3-0.
Yep. Well, it was 3-1 at some point.
It was 3-1 almost right after that, yeah.
But yeah, the Pittsburgh game they blew.
They were up 3-0 in the first 10 minutes of that game.
Yes, and they became the record most blown games in a season.
Woo!
Halfway through.
Yeah, they were up 3-0 in the first 10 minutes, and then Pittsburgh had already tied the game by the end of the first period.
Yep.
And then Pittsburgh dominated them for most of the rest of the game. They did get a goal to make it 5-4 towards the end of the game, but
Vasilevsky in the Tampa Bay game stopped this from going to overtime with 2 seconds left. He made 2 outstanding saves to stop this from going to overtime. But that wasn't. They also didn't blow a game. They were just
yeah. They were there though.
Tight,
That game.
Quinn Hughes had a goal, 2 assists in that game, and then Pedersen had 2 assists in the Florida game. Delia is going to be your top player of the Carolina shootout win.
Yeah.
29 for 32. Quinn Hughes is their top player overall because he did have 7 points in those 4 games.
Hey, good for him.
2 goals and 5 assists.
At the very least, they have in Vancouver a very dysfunctional team, clearly. But you have Quinn Hughes, who's a great offensive defenseman, and Elias Pettersson, who's
these past
a really good center.
Past 2 weeks or so has really stamped why the GM said those 2 are the only untouchable guys.
Oh, he didn't even say Quinn Hughes was untouchable. He just said it would take a lot.
It would
get
take a
him,
mountain,
and it probably he is.
Yeah, he's
almost untouchable,
basically. But also, this team's just sad.
I just want them to be good.
Well, their front office is never going to let that happen.
Their owner's never going to let that happen. Yeah.
Bruce Boudreau had an interview where the man just seemed so sad.
Well, there's not good barbecue in Vancouver.
And basically they asked him about his if he's on the hot seat or whatever, and he's just like, man, I'm just keep waking up. I'm going to keep showing up until they tell me to stop. And it's just like, oh, buddy, Boudreau doesn't deserve that.
Bro. That's such a sad answer.
He just seems broken.
Oh, man. Poor Bruce.
What's also unfortunate about this team is because offensively, this is such a good team. It is the most exciting offense.
Yeah, they have plenty of good offense.
Vancouver has had in forever.
Since the Sedins, probably.
Even then, they're putting up.
Hey, what? They were putting up
so many points,
3 to 4 goals in everything except that Carolina game.
Yeah, they put up 3 goals in that Carolina game, but they're putting up 4 to 5.
Yeah,
in almost every game these past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Problem is,
they don't have goalies or a defense.
It's the defense more than the goalies.
Well, Demko's injured, right?
Yep, Demko's injured.
Who are their goalies? Is Delia and Spencer Martin?
Yes, that's exactly it. Also, you're going 17 for 13 on the penalty kill.
What? 7 for 13?
Yeah, sorry, I said 17.
I was like, that's exceptionally good.
You're going 7 for 13 on the penalty kill.
Yeah, that'll do it too.
That's not good.
That's not good, no. Yeah, man. I mean, we've said it several times. We just want Vancouver to be good.
Yeah, but
they're just one of those franchises that every 20-ish years, they're pretty good.
Yep.
And then they're good for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. And then tops, and then just back to garbage.
Mediocrity.
Yeah. Because they went to the Cup Finals in, 2011?
Yep.
And then before that, I believe they were in the Cup Finals in 94.
Yep.
That they lost to the Rangers,
which
I think.
really hurt because it was Messier.
Ugh. And then... before that, they were in the Cup Finals one time before that. I think it was in the 80s, maybe in the 70s. I don't know. But it's just every 15 years they're good. And and then they just back down to the doldrums.
So with the Ekman Larson contract, because he's playing very poorly. And also with his defensive ability and JT Miller's defensive efforts, it's
not there.
It's just not good.
Well,
Miller's putting up points. He is putting up points. He just doesn't
play defense.
Right.
Yeah. Not to dogpile on Ekman Larson, but in the Pittsburgh game, there was a goal that happened where Pittsburgh, I don't even remember who took the shot, but it deflected off of somebody's stick.
Yep.
And fluttered in the air and just fluttered past the goalie. But someone else had fluttered past was Oliver Ekman Larson, who jumped away from it like it was a rocket coming at him.
Oh no!
It was a knuckle puck that was it was up high, and I'm sure it would not have felt good if he got hit in the face, but it wouldn't have killed him either. But he was just no, and didn't even try to block it or anything.
Oh, buddy!
And I just watched the replay. I was like, oh, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I mean, I would react the exact same way. I'm not trying to dog him, but it caught in slow motion. It's just that's people are gonna make fun of him for that one.
I mean, with that contract,
yeah,
that they're on for 5 more years,
something like that. Too long, certainly.
Benning's last fuck you.
For real. For real. His last 2 middle fingers going out the door.
Yep.
Like, here's OEL's contract.
And
Have fun.
Also with the defense with Vancouver, them and the Ducks are more than Vancouver, and this is fair because the Ducks are awful.
I swear to God, if the Penguins don't beat the Ducks tonight, I'm going to jump off a bridge. I'm so upset at the Penguins right now.
They're both on pace to shatter the goals against record.
Hell yeah.
With like 430 something for Vancouver and like 450 for the Anaheim.
Hell yeah, let's do it. Trash, bowl, trash, bowl, trash, bowl.
But remember, Anaheim's trying to be trash. Vancouver is not.
I know, but still, trash, bowl, trash, bowl. Them in Chicago, trash, bowl, trash, bowl.
All right, now let's drive a little farther south.
Well, hold on, just really quick. I could just because I thought of it because I was chanting trash bowl. I think somebody put an idea out there that was like, oh, you know how we should determine who gets the number 1 pick is that we should have a mini tournament at the end of the year and make the teams play each other. Or I'm like, but does the winner get it or does the loser get it?
Well, I mean, we talked about this on this show
Did
earlier.
I don't remember anything we talk about.
It's that South Park episode with them trying to lose.
Yeah. You're right.
About this.
And it's just like, it's like, oh, you're really gonna make. First of all, none of the players are gonna want to do that.
No.
Because they're not playing for anything.
No, they're not. They're playing for.
You might as well just make them play like who can hit the most bottles with a shot. Like. Like at least make it stupid. I saw that like a month or 2 ago. I was like, that's the dumbest idea I think I've ever heard.
All right, we're gonna go to Seattle because
make them play an NHL, the video game.
NHL Streets.
Oh, is that a game?
No, NFL was.
I know it would have been fun if they did that for like every sport.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Well, they kind of did it for baseball. They had backyard baseball.
Backyard baseball.
That was like sort of
they had
similar
backyard
to
soccer.
It. Yeah. And then NFL Street was a lot of fun.
Oh man, I always had Kyle Bowler running on the walls.
We played it in college a lot because we didn't like go to parties or anything because we were super cool stoner boys, and we would play NFL Street, and it was perfect because there were 4 of us, and there were 4 players that you could make, and like have your team be that, and each of the 4 of us could play those players.
Yeah.
And we played through the entire tournament on like the hardest difficulty, and we had to replay the champions who were like Randall Cunningham and like all of these other guys that you were like, I forgot you were in the NFL. But it was Randall Cunningham and like 3 other guys that were in the NFL. I was like, wow, that's how old this game is. It was Randall Cunningham.
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
Seattle. 4-0.
Hell yeah.
They have not lost in 2023.
Hell yeah. It's the year of the Kraken, baby.
It's the year of the Kraken.
Release the Kraken.
They're the first NHL team to sweep a 7-game road trip.
Oh, that's right. I saw that. That's awesome.
And they went out to the Atlantic and then Chicago at the end.
The Atlantic and Chicago.
They shut out Montreal.
As you should.
Then they held on to beat Buffalo. Then they shut out Boston at Boston.
Blow it up, Boston. Trade all your assets. Fire Montgomery.
The first regulation defeat at Boston.
Hell yeah.
Happened to the team that everyone thought it was going to.
Hated Boston.
The Kraken.
And this is when Boston falls apart. Just kidding. They beat the crap out of Philly today.
Yes, they did. It's like, oh, Philly had a good week. They played Boston.
And now it's Monday, but we're not going to talk about that game.
Nope. 6-0 Boston.
Shout out Philly.
And then they finished the week in a weird game against Chicago.
It was weird.
8-5.
Yeah.
This is the game I'm talking about.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I'm like, oh, he's talking about the Seattle game.
All right. You're up 6-1 in the first period.
The first period.
6-1 at the end of the first period. You've scored 6 goals on 7 shots. Peter Mrazek made 1 of 5. 1 of 5 saves.
Yep. And that got yanked.
And then Stalock, who was cold, let it hit his first 2.
Yep.
And then he got cheered for making the first save.
Poor Staylock.
I
He had
know.
such a good week last week,
Yeah,
and they
I
were
know.
like, "Oh yeah, good job."
Good job.
He didn't let in the first 5 or 4.
But he was 0 for 2. He was 0 for 2 to start the game. But then he shut it down. No, he didn't.
It was like, wait a minute, they scored 2 more.
Yeah, they did. 8-5.
Yeah, I think at some point Seattle was just like, nah, just let them score. It's fine. They'll make them feel better.
It's because they were 0 for 2 on both the power play and the penalty kill.
Wow.
That game.
8-5, and we were 0 for 2 on the penalty kill.
Yep. Jared McCann had a hat trick in that game.
Stupid. I wish he was still on the Penguins.
Yep. Was this his 4th team? 3rd team?
Something like that. I think he started in Vancouver, then went to Florida, then went to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And then technically Pittsburgh traded him to Toronto, but he never played for Toronto. He got taken in the expansion draft.
Yep.
To Seattle. So
he got passed around.
Yeah, 4th team. This is his 4th team.
And we can say 5th because Toronto had him.
Technically his
Toronto
5th team,
had him.
Yeah. They had him for a day,
Yes.
I think.
But then, he was a first-round pick, got passed around, and now he's on pace.
He's not bad.
He's on
not
pace
a
for
bad
43
player.
goals this year.
Yeah, he's not
So,
a bad player. I
he's
really
doing
liked
good.
him in Pittsburgh, but he's very streaky.
What I'm upset about this Chicago game is because Spencer Jones was in net, and he had back-to-back shutouts leading into this.
too bad.
And then
8-5,
5 goals.
baby.
Grubauer stopped Buffalo from coming back. He stood on his head. They were outshot 22-38 in that game.
Wait, who had the back-to-back shutouts?
Jones.
Martin Jones.
Yes.
You said Spencer Jones.
Oh, I said Spencer Jones. Martin Jones. That's my
I was
fault.
like, maybe Spencer Jones is somebody that I don't know.
No,
and then I was
it's
like, wait a minute.
It's
they have
Martin Jones.
yeah.
It's Martin because with Spencer
Jones.
Spencer Martin?
Yeah.
That's
That's
where
why.
it is.
Yeah, that's why.
I always get them mixed up.
It's very strange.
Yeah.
Oh, Spencer Martin Jones. Yeah.
Yep.
I got you.
It
I got
all
you.
blends.
I got you. It's funny because one is like 22 and the other one's like 37
Yep.
or something.
Yep. Yeah, so Jones had back-to-back shutouts against Montreal and then Boston. Grubauer played in between those two games in Buffalo, where, again, they got outshot 35-22,
Damn.
but won the game
Still won.
4-3. Vince Dunn had a goal and assist in the Montreal game, but then your top players are Matty Beniers and Yanni Gourde.
Yeah.
Beniers had 3 goals and 3 assists, and Gourde had a goal and 5 assists.
They're probably so jazzed Beniers is playing as well as he is.
I turned it down.
And clearly
Bastard.
you didn't.
You bastard. Oh well.
That was Clay's phone this time.
Boo. Boo this man. All right,
Boo. Just double checking. Mine's on silent.
we're going to drive down the 5
Drive down to 5.
to San Jose.
San Jose.
San Jose.
If you didn't know, San Jose is near San Francisco.
Yes, it is. South of
Because
San Francisco.
it took me a while to figure out where San Jose was in California. Why? I'm bad at geography.
And also-
Remember the Delaware discussion?
It's not a big city.
It's almost kind of just part of San Francisco.
Kind of.
Yeah.
The only reason it's its own place is because of like Silicon Valley.
And like zoning and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
They went 1-2 this week, so it's
Hey.
really good they got that one win.
Making the Silicon Valley Bros.
But it was
happy.
against Arizona, so that tracks.
Take what you can get.
4-2 win against Arizona. Nito had a goal in that game. It ended up being the game-winning goal, so that's why he gets the shout-out. Then they lost to the Kings, and then they got stopped by Edmonton. Timo Meyer had a goal and assist against the Kings. That was a close game, 3-4. And I mentioned the 1-7 earlier, so yeah.
Yep.
No. They don't get a top player.
Yeah, that's fair.
They're 13, 23, and 8. They got 34 points.
Trash. Bull. Trash. Bull.
7th place.
Trash.
Seattle is 26, 12, and 4. They are in second.
Non-trash bull.
They
Non-trash
passed the
bull.
Kings.
Playoffs.
And they are right behind this next team that we're going to talk about, which is Vegas.
Vegas.
Vegas is 28-14-2 with 58 points.
Is Vegas not as south as L.A.?
Nope. It's north of LA.
Huh. Didn't realize that.
Right?
Yeah.
It's only a 3-hour drive.
I knew it wasn't super far away. I didn't realize it was.
It was farther north than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I guess it is kind of in like the middle bottom of Nevada.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
You learned something.
Yeah. Learn something new every day.
All right.
Like where Delaware is. And then forget it until it's brought up again by you.
1-1 this week. They only played 2 games, and that game was on the 12th, so 4 days ago. What game was that? Thursday? Friday?
Yeah, Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. Thursday was their first game, and then they played Thursday, Saturday. Beating Florida 4-2, and then losing to Edmonton, like I mentioned earlier. Keegan Colasar had 2 assists in the Florida win.
Sweet name.
It is.
Keegan Colasar.
It really is. And then William Karlsson had a assist in the Edmonton game. I don't know why ESPN put him as one of their star players.
Who knows? Sometimes I'm like, why is this one of the star players?
Well,
when they decide that.
Well, I figured some of them. I figured it out. Like if they had a win, if the team won, even if they didn't get the highest points for that winning team, if they got that game-winning goal, they'll put them top.
Yeah,
or
there's
they'll
sometimes
put them in the top 3.
That they're like, your 3 stars of the game are this guy. I'm like, okay, this guy. I'm like, all right, and then this other guy that had no
0
shots
points.
on goal
Yeah.
and 0 points. Like, all right,
let's check your blocked shots / hits. Not that great. Why?
Why are you the top player? Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah. Keegan Colasar is actually the top player
Keegan Colasar
with 1 goal and 2 assists.
Sweet.
Yeah, I know.
Cool name. He sounds like a Star Trek character.
But like a cool Star Trek.
But like,
character.
a cool one.
Yeah.
Cool. Not like he's a cool one like Worf.
Yes, or
not a not cool one like
who is Lamar?
LeVar
Yeah.
Burton was oh my god, Geordie LaForge.
Thank you.
He was a cool character too. You know who wasn't a cool character?
No, that's what I was saying.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. LeVar Burton is cool.
Yeah.
Makes everything cool.
You know who wasn't a cool character? It was Neelix from Voyager. That's right, I said it. Neelix.
I don't watch enough Star Trek.
He was an alien.
He was
know
their
exact. He was the cook. Was he the cook?
I was gonna say I know exactly who you're talking about.
He had like fur all over his face.
Nope,
he
don't
was
know
like
who he is.
multicolorful.
Nope.
I mean, he didn't suck. He was like a good guy, but like he was just kind of there.
I was not a Trekkie.
Sorry, my entire family was.
It's fine.
Shout out, Mom. Hi, Mom.
It tracks.
You know who Neelix is. Hashtag hate Neelix.
All right.
He had a girlfriend on that ship, but she was like whatever species she was, aged like 20 times faster than people. So she was like, in the first season, she was, and they were also like telepathic or something. Right. So she started developing like crazy telepathic powers as she was getting older that she couldn't control.
Oh, fun.
But then she I don't know if the actress just wanted to go do something else because she eventually just went away. But then she came back and was like all mad at them for some reason. I don't know. She died.
It sounds like she was going that direction.
She died. It's fine.
All right, so we're going to take the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas route and then drive to LA.
Hell yeah.
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 Drugs.
Yeah. Did you ever watch that movie?
Well,
the movie's crazy.
It is, but they're also the reason that that book movie happened is because
But wasn't it just like Hunter S. Thompson wrote like what he did? That was just what he did and saw.
Well, it was Hunter S. Thompson having a conversation with his lawyer, who was eventually murdered.
Sick.
But they knew the FBI was bugging them, so the only place that they could have an actual conversation was a top-down drive through the Mojave Desert.
Gotcha. Yeah. I've been to the Mojave Desert.
Yeah, you almost got stuck, didn't you?
Yeah. Driving a Camaro into the Mojave National Preserve, not smart.
Oh, well, you didn't die, so...
No, we got it out. It almost got stuck in sand.
Almost.
It didn't. It almost got stuck in sand.
Close.
I think I still had phone signal, so we could have gotten.
Yeah.
out
That's
of it
good.
eventually. But um, it's a cool nature preserve if
Oh,
you're
yeah.
in the area. Yeah, there's lava tubes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm going to visit.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Los Angeles went 2-1.
Los Angeles,
I don't like how the Vegas team is just Vegas and not Las
and
Vegas.
not the actual name of the city.
Yeah, and Los Angeles is Los Angeles.
Yeah, it would be like calling like the Giants in baseball like the Frisco Giants.
Yeah,
or
it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
But Los Angeles does
Yeah.
because they went 2-1 this week.
Yeah,
They are 25, 15, and 6. They're 56 points, so they are tied with Seattle, but Seattle has more games in hand. They beat Edmonton 6-3. Then they beat San Jose 4-3. It's good you're beating your division.
yeah.
Then they lost to the Devils 2-5.
Well,
It's
the East Coast invaders.
Yeah.
The Devils.
again because New Jersey was on a road trip, so yeah, invaded.
Invasion of the Devils.
And also like Quick was in goal for that loss.
Oh,
I know.
sad.
It is sad.
Sad.
In the Edmonton game, Fiala had 2 goals and 2 assists. Quentin Byfield was back last week, but
Hey,
he
nice.
had a goal and an assist in the San Jose win. And then Drew Doughty had 2 assists in the New Jersey loss. Their power play,
Really good.
6 for 13.
Oh, that is pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to be like, they were 0 for 25.
No, they were 50%,
Oh, man, that's really good.
going 4 for 7 against Edmonton.
Got him.
Yeah.
It got you at your own game, Edmonton.
Yeah, and 6 for 6 on the penalty kill
Damn.
in that game.
Got him.
They got him.
They're like, we're definitely knocking you out of the playoffs this year.
Penalty kill wasn't great for the rest of the week, but it's fine. Whatever.
It's okay. They did it that one game.
Yep. So Kempe and Fiala are their top points getters. Also Drew Doughty. But Kempe and Fiala both had 3 goals and 2 assists.
Nice.
And then Doughty had a goal and 4 assists. Fiala these past 3 weeks, this past month,
Picking it up.
has been on fire.
Good.
They're basically like they got what they
They're
paid
like,
for.
this is what we traded for.
This is exactly what
That's
we
right.
traded it for. And we're gonna round out the Pacific with Anaheim.
Round out with the bottom.
Yep. Which it's crazy because of like Anaheim is basically a suburb of Los Angeles.
It basically just is Los Angeles.
Los Angeles is like 6 cities just
Well, it's
piled
the same
into
thing
one.
with New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, New York is what the 5 boroughs are essentially their
Mm-hmm.
own cities. So it's the same thing with LA.
But yeah, so
Once a city gets big enough, it's actually just
Yeah.
a bunch of cities. Yeah.
Anaheim is the farthest south of all of this.
That's where Disneyland is.
Yeah. 12, 27 and 4. 28 points. Only played 2 games. Lost them both. Yeah.
Nice.
Edmonton, New Jersey.
Nice.
Both 2-6.
Consistency.
Consistent.
That's what you like. Consistent.
Uh,
Now give up 6 goals again to Pittsburgh tonight, please.
1-7 for the power play. 3-5 for the penalty kill.
Yeah, that's Anaheim's bad.
Yeah, they bad.
But they know they're bad, though.
Yep. Yep.
At least they know. They're not trying to fool themselves like Vancouver.
So, we got a couple of. We got a good amount of news for both sides.
I see that.
Anaheim, Justin Kirkland. He is
Oh, yeah.
currently on the IR. It's undisclosed.
Well, he was in a
but he
car
got in
accident.
a car accident
Yeah.
on the way to the Boston game.
Yeah.
He's out of the hospital. He
Seems
is
like
fine.
he's okay, yeah, which is good.
Yes. Yaler Yamamoto for Edmonton. Kaler. God.
Kaler.
I-
Yaler Yamamoto.
It would have been better if it was Yaler Kamamoto.
I would have just let it go at
Yeah.
that point. I wouldn't have said anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, yep, nailed it.
I caught myself, which is worse.
Yaler.
What am I doing
I'm going to
today?
name my son Yaler.
Are you Mormon or something?
It's really close to Yinzer, so.
Fine. It tracks, but I don't like it. On Friday, he was
Yinzer
listed.
Yamamoto.
On Friday,
That's a good Mount Lebanon boy right there.
Friday, he was listed day to day with an undisclosed injury. So we'll see how that develops. Then on Saturday, Jaden Swartz for the Kraken was listed as day-to-day for an undisclosed injury as well. Let's see what that happens there. Wednesday, Scott Harrington for San Jose.
I had no idea that Scott Harrington was on San Jose.
Right?
Former Penguins draft pick right there.
Yeah, I didn't know who he was.
Yeah, I think he started his career obviously on the Penguins, and I believe they traded him to Toronto, and then I think he played for Columbus, maybe Washington for a hot sec. I think he played for someone else in our division too. But now I guess he's on San Jose.
He is questionable. He missed one game. He missed the Kings game with a upper body.
Up body.
And he missed the Devils game, so with an upper body. For Vancouver, Tanner Pearson has set back in his hand surgery, and he is done for the season.
I saw that earlier.
Quentin Hughes actually spoke out saying his hand was handled poorly by management.
That's good. That's what you want to hear.
That's what you want to hear. What we were just talking about.
Good.
And then Tyler Dermott on the same day, which was Wednesday, left early for undisclosed amount of time for an undisclosed injury.
What? Crazy if he also hurt his hand.
Right. Basically, who did they play on the 12th? He played Tampa Bay. He left early that game. He missed the rest of the week for an undisclosed.
It always makes me worried when it's an undisclosed injury. Like either it's really bad, or it's like embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like his balls are like bruised or something like that. Let's they just want to be like, well, it's a lower body injury.
Lower body. And then we'll round it out with Vegas. 2 news stories here. One, Stone is week to week for an upper body injury.
Right.
And the other one was Robin Leonard.
Oh my god. I totally forgot about this.
I forgot to also talk about Erik Karlsson.
We could do that after this. That'll soften.
That'll soften.
This.
Yeah. All right. Robin Leonard has filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy.
That's not funny, but the reason he did is kind of funny.
All right. The reason he did. This is linked to the ownership of a exotic snake farm in Missouri. His liability is anywhere between 10 to 50 million.
How is it that much? What are you doing with those snakes? Are you making an army?
Oh,
sorry.
Oh, this one's you.
Yeah, that one was me.
Suck it.
It was my give your dog her medicine alarm.
So
she already took it, by the way. Don't worry.
The company I think that loaned his money is also the company that loaned Vander Kane his money.
Interesting.
So that's
interesting.
It's a shady place.
Yeah.
So this is kind of comes from all the way back in 2017, where Robin Leonard apparently really likes snakes.
I mean, that's fine.
Really likes snakes. Where he paid a place, it's Renix Reptiles in Missouri, $1.2 million for some pythons and some anacondas.
Can they fly? Why are you paying $1.2 million? I mean, I know they're kind of rare.
So this guy Rennick, apparently he is a
Jeremy Rennick,
exotic snake breeder. Does a lot of.
What if it was Jeremy Roenick and they just spelled his name wrong?
It's not, because I'll explain why it's not in a second. So he was doing like breeding and making things melanistic, getting really cool like patterns on the snakes and stuff like that. Well, he was murdered by his wife that year.
Oh yeah, I forgot that aspect. This story is insane.
The story is out of control. So he was $1.2 million. He was paying him in installments of $200,000.
And his wife's name, Carol Baskins.
Oh,
Carol Baskins. Killed her husband, whacked him.
Yeah, bitch. So he was paying $200,000 at a time, and then he got murdered, or Rennick got murdered by his wife, who is in jail for 16 years.
Deservedly so, it would seem.
And then that led the snake breeding to get out of control and unregulated, which
They took over a small town of Missouri.
caused the snakes to lose their value. Also, Leonard stopped paying because I guess the guy was dead.
He might have literally not known who to give the money to.
That could be,
You know?
yeah. But yeah, looking into I got to do
I hope
more
it gets figured out.
research on this story.
I hope that gets figured out because Leonard has
That's
had so many issues. He has mental health issues and all of
also,
that. So
2017 was the height of his bipolar.
Yeah. So I hope this gets figured out. I hope the snakes are okay. It sounds like they maybe are not.
I mean,
I always feel bad for animals in this
his
situation.
snakes might be fine.
So yeah, Carol Baskins.
So, what the hell,
What was
Robin?
that? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were reacting. It's saying that to whatever that noise was.
No. What the hell, Robin? This story is crazy. Which with each sentence getting more absurd than the last.
Yeah, you were like Robin Leonard. I was like, oh right.
And we're gonna stay on the crazy and say San Jose is asking for 3 first-round picks plus a prospect, I think,
for Eric Carlson. To only retain 18% of his salary too. And it's like nobody's gonna do that. He's playing really well this year.
18%.
Nobody's gonna pay that price.
18% of his salary is $9.5 million, which
no, it isn't.
His salary is what, 11.5?
Oh, you're saying it brings it down to 9.5.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry,
Yes.
I misunderstood you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So $9.5 million for what Eric Carlson's doing right now is pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
But he's 32.
Yeah.
He's had a string of injuries.
There's 4 years left on that contract, I think.
At least 4, if not 5 years on that contract. So to ask him to put that up, to keep doing what he's doing.
3 first-round draft picks for that.
No
way.
So Eric Carlson's not moving.
No, not unless they're like, just kidding, give us 1 first-round draft pick, and then maybe teams would be like, okay, or okay, just kidding, we'll retain 50%, give us 2 first-round draft picks, and then I think some teams would probably do it, but 3 and you're only retaining a fifth of his salary.
You can't. There's no way he's going to keep this production up.
No.
I
mean, I hope he does. I like Eric Carlson, but
asking him to do what he's doing now, 2 years from now, I don't know if it's going to happen.
No, even 3/4 of what he's doing now, 2 years from now, is that's. I don't know. To ask.
Does he have an ankle anymore?
I don't know.
I don't think he does.
I think everybody was surprised he's doing so well this year.
Yeah,
And then you have no idea if let's just say he goes to I don't know, Toronto. Let's just say he goes to Toronto.
No, Edmonton, because which ones have been talking about getting him?
Okay, no, yeah, I think it was more Edmonton talking about getting him. But okay, say he goes to Edmonton. He might play great with McDavid and Draisaitl and the gang. Or he might not.
Right.
Because for a while in San Jose, he wasn't playing that well.
Until this year.
Well, a lot of people were like, well, that was maybe happening because he was kind of playing behind Brett Burns because they had loyalty to Burns, and so they were playing him on the top power play still, and he was the top pairing right defenseman. Carlson is also a right defenseman, so he was second. But usually the top 2 defensive pairings, their minutes aren't that crazy different.
No.
And if I was San Jose, I would have them both playing on the top power play. That just seems like...
I think they were playing on
maybe they were, but maybe they were playing Carlson out of position or whatever. Weird things happen with stuff like that. I don't know. But you can't just assume he's going to go be old Eric Carlson like he's being this year.
No.
On whatever team is willing to pony that up, Wait, who's a dumb team that would probably do that? Ottawa?
I would say Florida, but they don't have
any draft picks for the next 5 years.
They don't have any first round picks for a little bit.
I don't know. Who's stupid that would do Vancouver?
I was gonna say Vancouver.
I don't know. I know I have heard Edmonton is oh man, they're seriously thinking about Carlson.
With what money?
With what money? you would have to ship out a bunch of contracts to make that work as well. And I keep hearing some other teams linked to Chikrin too. Remember, he's playing pretty well for Arizona. He's like the only one playing well in Arizona. But like I hear like, oh, Toronto's looking at Chikrin. It's like, with what cap space?
With what cap space
are they going to
add
an
offensive defenseman?
No, you need defense.
Yeah.
So same thing with Edmonton. They need defense. Now Carlson is fairly good just all around as a defenseman.
Right.
But,
Anaheim's wishing they sold Gibson when he was
maybe
playing better.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe they were like, oh, we could have gotten a first-round pick plus more than that.
I understand that he's behind,
He's behind a garbage defense.
Other
teams know that too, though. But they'll try to leverage that and be like, oh, well, look at his stats. Like, he's better than that.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah.
But I would try to do that if I was a GM trying to get John Gibson. I'd be like, yeah, but he's having like a pretty bad year. He's playing behind this garbage defense. Yeah, but look at those numbers, though. I don't know, a second-round pick?
His goals against expected is still not good.
So it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I just saw that, and like, who knows if that's actually true or if that's just like, this is how much we want, and then they'll like negotiate down.
Right.
If it happens.
You start with something unreasonable to get what you want.
I think it's probably more likely that happens once the offseason rolls around, if somebody's going to trade for him. I still don't think anybody's going to pay that price for him, but teams will have more cap space.
I don't know who's, for the deadline, I don't know what team
I don't know what's going to happen at the deadline.
What team that's out there that's desperate enough to get Carlson for a win now?
I don't know. Maybe a team that like their top defenseman is just out for the rest of the year, and maybe they really have to go for it,
But still, you're giving up the next 3 years.
And I can't wait for Erik Karlsson to put on the Pittsburgh Penguins jersey after they trade 3 firsts and I don't know, whatever prospects we have, and then still don't win the Stanley Cup. And then we just have Erik Karlsson for 5 more years.
You flame out in the first round.
Again.
Yep.
I don't know.
Right there with you, bud.
Yeah. Our team's cosmically linked together. I was going to say something else. Oh, I don't know what's going to happen at the deadline because a lot of the top teams just don't have cap space at all. I think the Penguins, for example, I believe have $18,000 in cap space, which is essentially nothing.
I mean, remember, Vancouver at the start of the season had $0.
Yeah, exactly. And what was it? Toronto at the beginning of the year had $4. Had $4.
Edmonton had like
150 or something like that. So teams are up against it. And that's mostly because of the flat cap COVID garbage. But I just don't. I don't know. I don't think there's going to be any big trades this year. I could be wrong.
There's a story.
Mark
Stone. I think it was Mark Stone. Had a party at his house, and
this is how he got hurt.
No, and Leonard was just in his backyard digging up snakes and throwing them into his pool.
That can't be true. That's such a funny story. He was just chucking snakes into his pool.
Yeah.
Digging up snakes from where?
The backyard? His yard? From Stone's yard. Just looking for snakes.
What did Mark Stone just turn around where's Robin? Where's Robin? Somebody find Robin. They just go and the entire backyard is dug up. And he's I found a garter snake.
Yeah. This one's
Look.
It's a Western Diamondback I got right here.
I don't even know where Robin Leonard's from. He's from Sweden.
Yes.
But I don't know. You're allowed to like snakes. It's not a weird thing. I don't think spending $1.2 million is a little strange. To buy, I don't know, a bunch of anacondas or something.
Anacondas and pythons.
Excuse me. Sorry.
I think they're ball pythons.
Those are definitely not worth $1.2 million.
If they're cool looking,
I guess that's fair. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Value is in the eye of the beholder.
And I will argue that people who own reptiles are weird.
Are psychos.
Are weird, yeah.
Shout out to all the people we know that own reptiles out there.
Yeah. If you own a snake, there's a good chance you're a weird person. Not because you own a snake. It just accentuates
you're already,
the fact.
You're already
exactly.
weird. Yeah. Just like mustache guy.
Yeah.
Do you know that story?
I don't think I do.
I'm not going to tell it right now, but
That's
I'll tell
fine.
you after the podcast. All right. That was the first division of this episode.
You went great.
Let's talk about the Metro. The Metro. Ooh.
Punch the lamp.
Punched. It's a chandelier. The Carolina Hurricanes are up first. A chandelier that I hate.
Oh, yeah.
They went 2-1 this week.
Yes, they
A
did.
better week than they had last week. They they lost to the New Jersey Devils 5-3. Sebastian Aho did have a goal and an assist. They then beat the crap out of the Columbus Blue Jackets 6-2, where they outshot them 41-23. What? Yeah, no, I'm getting to that at the end.
No. You said the record.
Yeah, it's 2-1.
And 1.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't write it down right. You're correct. I'm sorry. I thought you were pointing at something else. 2-1-1.
There it is.
Excuse me.
Yep.
Clay is correct. I forgot they played 4 games this week. Where was I? Oh, they outshot Columbus 41-23. Aho, Jarvis, Kotkaniemi, Pesce, and Slavin all had 2 points in that game.
Good for them.
They then beat Pittsburgh in a pretty close game, 2-1, where Freddie Anderson is back, baby.
He is back.
He was 34 for 35 in that game. Stupid Penguins. And then they lost to Vancouver in a shootout.
Yep.
Slavin had 2 assists in that game, while Kochekov was 29 of 32 and then was promptly sent back down to the minors.
Yeah, that's what happens when you lose to Vancouver.
Well, he's also not waiver eligible.
Right. I know.
And they have Ronta and Anderson.
Ronta's coming back. And
and Anderson is back.
Yep.
So
No,
they had to.
It actually makes sense because with how well.
Send him down to the minors. Let him dominate down there.
Exactly.
Maybe you try to figure out shipping off one of Ronta or Anderson.
Exactly.
You bring him back,
100%.
or you just leave him down there. He's like 20 or something.
For Carolina, is a goalie factory right
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's fine.
So they're good.
This was a small sample size. Really?
Are you going to mention Nedeljkovic when we get to the Atlantic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Poor buddy.
Speaking of Carolina goalies,
Yeah,
poor buddy. Aho is their top player this week. Actually, they have 2 top players. Aho, 2 goals, 4 assists this week. Anderson, 2-0, 1.5 goals against average, and a .948 save percentage.
Cool.
The Carolina Hurricanes, as a team, had 3 shorthanded goals this week.
That's crazy.
3. Man. Columbus is up next. 1-2. Doing Columbus things.
Doing Columbus things.
Lost to Tampa Bay 6-3, where they were outshot 46-24. They were 1 for 4 on the penalty kill in that game.
Boo.
Patrick Laine
Yeah,
did
they
have
were.
2 assists in that game. They then got smushed by Carolina 6-2, as I already mentioned. Hey, but they finished off the week by beating Detroit 4-3. What are you doing, Detroit?
Detroit had a weird week. We'll talk about that.
Okay. Laine had a hat trick in this game, while Goudreau and Roslovic had 2 assists.
Cool.
Yeah.
Detroit was weird this week.
Well, we'll get to them in a minute.
Yeah.
Patrick Laine is their top player of the week with 3 goals, 3 assists.
Good for him.
Yeah, look at him. It's so weird that he played pretty well in Winnipeg,
He loves Columbus.
and he just really likes Columbus. He
really
re-signed
does.
there. Hey, that's fine.
It's not
You know,
bad.
part of my family lives in Columbus. They seem to like it enough.
The only problem is you're living in Ohio, but
Yeah.
you can.
I mean, Columbus. I've heard people be like, "Well, who wants to live in Columbus?" I'm like, it's just like a small city.
Yeah, that's
there's
just it.
stuff to do.
Yeah.
It's just not New York, And I understand Panarin was like, "Well, there's no nightclubs here." I'm like, "Well, not everybody wants that."
Well-
Patrick Laine just wants to be left alone to play video games.
Well, Panarin wants a Russian community. and
That's fair. I
you're
don't know
getting-
that. I don't
you're
think that
getting
exists in
that
Columbus.
in
In
New
New
York.
York, there is clearly a Russian community because I don't think Artemi Panarin can go back to Russia. So at least not until there's a regime change.
Not for right now.
Not for right now. Maybe by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Shout out to our friend and yours, Vladimir Putin,
I was wondering where you're going there.
who is best buds with Steven Seagal, the most dangerous man in the world.
Yep. Great musician.
70 years old, fantastic musician, fat as shit, knows Aikido. Steven Seagal.
Expert in Aikido. Excuse you.
Definitely seems like he raped a couple of people. Shout out to Behind the Bastards.
Slash the dollop.
Slash the dollop. Anyway, Send him to fight Ukraine.
Yep.
Putin.
He's going to do great.
He'll die. Anyway, New Jersey went 3-0 this week. They're getting back on track after.
Bad 2 weeks.
Is it bad? Like month.
Really?
Yeah,
Was it
they were
like
pretty
that?
bad in like November. Or I'm sorry, December. But getting back on track to where they were at the beginning of the year. Beating Carolina 5-3, where Dawson Mercer had 2 goals and an assist. Boquist had a goal and an assist. And McLeod had 2 assists.
I think it was McLeod.
It's McLeod.
Yeah, I know
McLeod?
exactly.
It could be McLeod.
It could be.
Anyway, that guy had 2 assists. They then went out to the West Coast, beating Anaheim 6-2, as Clay already mentioned.
Yep.
Where Hughes had 2 goals and an assist. Brott had 2 goals. And Severson had 3 assists, while Boquist and Hamilton each had a goal and an assist in that game.
Yep.
They then finished off the week by beating LA 5-2. Sharon Govich and Hughes both had 2 assists in that game, while I believe it's Adam Graves.
Don't look at me like I know.
I think it's Adam Graves. You weren't even looking at me. You knew I was looking at you, though. He had a goal and an assist.
I mean, I was looking at your writing, and I saw you look up. And
I think it's Adam Graves. But also, that might be the name of one of the kids from the Mighty Ducks. I can't remember. Anyway, Graves had a goal and an assist in that game. Hughes and Mercer are their top players of the week with 2 goals and 3 assists apiece.
Yeah.
The Islanders won 1-1 this week.
They
You know
had
what's
a week.
You know what's really weird is that the Islanders and the Rangers played the same 3 teams
Yes, they
this
did.
week. I guess those 3 teams were just in New York this
In
week.
town, yeah.
So the first one for the Islanders was losing in a shootout to Dallas, where Sorokin... Oh, they're coming for us.
It's the fuzz.
Talking too good about hockey in
No,
here.
we were talking too much shit about
New York.
Seagal.
He's here.
He is the deputy sheriff. Remember that.
I don't even. Yeah, he was. That's true. Anyway, Dallas beat the Islanders 2-1 in a shootout. Sorokin 25 for 26.
Yep.
The Islanders then lost to Minnesota 3-1, where they were outshot 36-20. Sorokin 33 for 35.
Yep.
And then they beat Montreal to end off the week 2-1, where they outshot Montreal 38-23, and Sorokin was 22 of 23.
I
Can
had
you
that
guess
written down.
who their top player was this week?
I think it was Sorokin.
I think it was Sorokin too, because he was the only one that was actually trying to win a game this week.
Yeah.
1-1-1 was his record. 130 goals against, 1.30.
Yeah, no,
that is goals against, and a 952 save percentage. They just would not score goals for him.
No.
He only let up 1 goal in every one of the he let up 2 against Minnesota, but
Like, the man's trying to win.
score 2 goals for this poor man. He's having a great year. That was
That
the problem with
happens.
the Islanders last year. It's the problem with the Islanders this year again. They just really not scoring consistently.
Yep.
Hey. Anyway, the other New York team, the Rangers, went 2-1 this week, beating Minnesota in a shootout 4-3, where they outshot Minnesota 43-32.
Wow.
Adam Fox and Keandre Miller each had a goal and an assist in that game.
Oh, I'm thinking of the Dallas game because those 2 guys came through.
And then the Rangers beat Dallas in overtime. 2-1 was that one. Fox had the overtime game winner and the assist, and Keandre Miller had the other goal in that game.
Keandre Miller scored that goal with less than a second left
Oh, to tie the game.
to tie the game.
God damn.
Yeah.
God damn.
Love me some Keandre.
He should come play for the Penguins.
He
Anyway,
should come play for not in the Metro. Just he can fuck off to
he
somewhere
can-
else
he
so
can
I
come-
can actually
he
appreciate
can come to
him.
Pittsburgh. He can come to Pittsburgh.
No.
I will appreciate him every night. Anyway, then they lost to Montreal 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, Shesterkin played well in that game, 29-31.
Shesterkin was on ESPN. Shesterkin was the 3rd star.
Of that
Of-
game?
of that game.
Oh. Who was the other one? Probably whoever was playing for Montreal in that.
Montembeau and I believe
And what, Suzuki maybe? Or whoever scored? Caulfield.
Caulfield.
It was one of their little baby players.
Caulfield had a goal and assist that game.
Makes sense. Shesterkin is the Rangers' top player this week, 2-1 with a 198 goals against and a 932 save percentage. Pretty good week.
Very
for
good
the goalies in New York. Philadelphia, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God!
Here come them Flyers, 3-0 this week. Pretty good week for them. They started off by shutting out Buffalo 4-0, where they outshot them 38-28. Konechny 2 assists. Sam Urson, no, I don't know who that is either, made 28 saves for the shutout.
His first career shutout.
His first career shutout.
He apparently played a couple games already. This
Yeah,
season.
he got called
well.
up a week or two ago. Yeah, he's
played
playing
well,
pretty well.
But he's
He's on a pretty bad team.
Yeah.
Then Philadelphia won 2 games against Washington to finish off the week. 5-3 was the first game where Konechny had a hat trick, Lawton had a goal and 2 assists, and Tippett had a goal and an assist. And then Philadelphia beat Washington 3-1, where they were outshot 40-25 by the Capitals. Lawton again had a goal and an assist, while Carter Hart was 39-40. They have 2 top players this week. Konechny, 3 goals, 2 assists. Lawton, 2 goals, 3 assists.
Yeah, good for
Pretty good win. Pretty good week for Philly.
good for Philly.
Still in the.
Pisses me off that it was against Washington.
Oh, I understand. Yeah, I understand.
And then they get shit stomped against Boston.
It's okay. We can talk about Pittsburgh if you want. They went 1-2 this week.
I mean,
Shut up.
it's just
Okay, we don't have to. Let's talk about Washington. They went 0-2. I'm just kidding.
shucks.
Pittsburgh came back against Vancouver, as we already mentioned, winning 5-4 after being down 3-0 in that game. Evgeny Malkin, 2 goals, 2 assists. Rust plus Ty Smith, 2 assists in that game, while Jason Zucker had a goal and an assist. And then Pittsburgh just pooped their pants for the rest of the week, losing to Winnipeg 4-1. Not much else to say for Pittsburgh in that game. We can talk about Winnipeg had a pretty good game, but we'll talk about them later. And then losing a fairly close game to Carolina 2-1. Carolina was leading for the majority of the game. Pittsburgh scored a goal in the third. They almost scored a couple other times to tie it, but they didn't.
Did you see Brett Burns beat Crosby in a face-off?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
No,
I
I
did.
mustn't have been paying attention when that happened. Casey DeSmith was 34 for 36 in that game. They don't have a top player.
Nope.
Because all of their scoring happened in the first game.
Yeah, no, you don't get a top player for that.
Washington also, spoiler alert, does not have a top player.
No, they don't deserve one.
Losing both games they played this week, both of them to Philadelphia. I already mentioned these games, but they lost 5-3 to Washington to Philadelphia. They nearly came back to tie. They were down 4-1, and then they came back, made it 4-3, and then Philly got an empty net goal.
Yep.
But then the second game, they just straight up lost 3-1. So they don't have a top player either. But
Carter Hart played great.
Carter Hart did play great, but he plays for Philadelphia.
I know.
Let's talk about the little news that there is for the Metropolitan Division. Tristan Jarry and Paling for Pittsburgh are both on the IR, although they are both practicing, I believe. So that should be short-lived. Just a little funny bit of news. John Tortorella banned the use of iPads by the players on the bench to review what just happened on the ice. But I heard through the grapevine that it was because he caught Lawton playing Candy Crush one too many times. And so he was like, no more of these. Dad's taking away the iPad for a while. And hey, look, they went 3-0.
And Lawton had 2 goals and 3 assists. So
You're welcome.
You're
exactly.
welcome.
Stop playing that Candy Crush. That's not true. I just made that up. But he did ban the iPads, which I thought was pretty funny.
Well, what he said was just I don't care about.
He wants them to focus on the here and now and not what just happened.
Remember last year when Zuccarello Zibanejad for the Rangers messed up. He whiffed an empty net, and then he was
just watching it.
Well,
over and over again.
He brought it up on the iPad. Chris Kreider took it out of his hands and threw it behind him.
Yes,
Get out of here.
It's just a funny bit of news because it's such a dad move
Which
to
is
be
Tortorella.
no more iPad till you do your homework right, till your grades get better. And it was but Dad, I wanted to watch what I was doing. No, pay attention to what's going on. It's just funny. And I threw this in here. This is kind of an overarching news, but the coaches for the All-Star Game, which is coming up in a few weeks, I think, have been announced. Rod Brindamore is the coach for the Metropolitan. Jim Montgomery, the coach of the Atlantic. Pierre DeBoer, of all people, is the coach of the Central. And
think about what's going on in the Central.
That's
Dallas,
true.
So it does make sense.
And then Bruce Cassidy is the coach for the Pacific. It's really funny. The coach for Boston and the coach for Boston last year are both coaching 2 different All-Star teams.
Fight to the death.
Yeah, I still think it's weird that they fired Cassidy, but it doesn't matter.
It brought Krejci back, and it had DeBrusque rescind his trade.
So I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. He's in Vegas now. both teams are doing well, so I guess it's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
So yeah, that's it. We can, whenever the All-Star rosters are finalized, we could talk about it. But the All-Star game really doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
We could just say who made the All-Star game.
It just means Ovechkin's getting a suspension
for not going.
Showing.
Yeah. It was funny. I think
Crosby is
they
too.
announced. I think they announced the captains of the team. I think Crosby might be the captain of the Metro because he's definitely going.
I think they already announced it.
They didn't. They didn't. No, they're still. You're still voting on some of the players,
okay.
but they announced some of the players that are going there because the Penguins tweeted out they were like Crosby lost his free weekend in February or whatever. It's like, well, we'll see if he actually goes.
Crosby took a page out of Ovechkin's book. It's like, oh, I don't have to
Yeah,
go,
he
and
did
I
that a
only
couple
miss
of years. Well, here's the
game?
thing: he might get quote unquote injured right before, so
Right.
they can pretend like it.
Yeah.
But like even then, I think the rule is they're not allowed to play the game right after
Yep.
to prove that they're injured.
Yeah.
But I think it'll really depend on where the Penguins are at that point.
We'll see.
Crosby might not want to. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. It's stupid that they're like, well, you're suspended for a game if you don't show up.
Well,
It's so dumb.
Don't have it in the middle of the season.
Do it at the end of the year. No one cares anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, just do the talent competition.
Talent competition's good.
Or I'm sorry, the skills competition.
It's great.
That's by far the best part of it.
Unless you have Pietrangelo win just because he brought out a drum line.
Just because it was in Vegas.
Yeah, but Seagrass pulled the dodgeball. I know.
Such bullshit. Seagrass should win the shootout competition. He should have won it both of the last 2 years, and I don't think he won either one. It's horseshit. Well, he should have won last year. I don't remember the year before.
The year before that, last year he was a rookie, so.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Last year. Someone else did something crazy the year before and they didn't win.
It wasn't Seagrass. All right. We're going to do it with the Atlantic. We're still doing North and South. It gets a little bit stupid in this one.
Yeah?
And it starts with stupid. Yeah. Montreal.
The stupidest.
2-2 this week.
All right.
Every other game.
Huh.
They start by getting shut out by Seattle, like I talked about earlier.
Right.
We talked about that huge shot differential. Montembeault saving 37 for 40.
Mm-hmm.
Then they beat Nashville 4-3.
Yep.
Montembeault was still in the net. Montembeault played all 4 games. Caulfield had 2 goals. Then they lost to the Islanders, like you just mentioned.
Yep.
1-2. Suzuki had the goal. And you already talked about how they got outshot 38-23.
Mm-hmm.
It was rough. And then they beat the Rangers.
Still not the worst one this week. That was one of the Edmonton games.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where Cole Caulfield had a goal and assist. The power play for Montreal was 3 for 9, and the penalty kill was 12 for 13. So
those are pretty good.
really good
I
numbers.
mean, 2 for
overall.
2 is not bad.
No, not at all.
It's bad. It's not bad.
And for that, Montembeault, Sammy Montembeault, is their top player.
Hell yeah.
Because while he was 2 for 2, he had 2.5 goals against average
Not bad.
for Montreal.
On a team for
Montreal.
a pretty bad team like Montreal, that's not too
He
bad.
saved 150 out of 159 shots
Holy shit.
for a 944 save percentage.
Oh my god, that poor guy.
Even the gate. So
Even the gays can say, "Wow, Sam Montembeault had a good week."
I said games, but thank you for that.
I heard what I heard.
I know. Even that 4-0 shutout loss, he had a 925 save percentage.
Hey,
Yeah.
you're gonna let him get lit up like that. I mean, at least he's like, all right,
All right, I'm gonna do it well.
I have to lit in some of these probably. Did I ever tell you that I didn't realize his first name was Sam? I thought his name was just Montembeault, like his first name was Montan.
Yeah.
And
No,
I was
you
like,
never told me that.
yeah, I was like, wow, that's a crazy first name. And then they were like, yeah, Sam Montembeault. I'm like, oh, that makes way more sense.
Yeah.
That makes way more sense.
The Canadiens are 18, 23, and 3 for 39 points.
Not as bad as a record as I think most people thought. I know I've said that before, but not nearly as bad as a record as some people thought Montreal was going to have.
They are the worst in the division, but it's a race for it's a race for the bottom.
All of these bad teams really want Connor Bedard, and I get it. He looks fantastic. I hope he can be as good as he looks. And they're all just gonna be so mad when the Penguins get it somehow
Somehow because they missed the playoffs.
because they missed the playoffs by like 1 point and then they win the draft lottery.
Look, I honestly think Montreal has the best chance of getting them.
Oh, they have Florida's pick,
Exactly.
right? Yeah, that's
They
right.
have
They have
Florida's
two.
pick,
They
too.
have two
So-
lottery picks.
If Florida wins, mwah,
Oh, that will be extremely funny.
for sure.
Yeah. For you traded Connor Bedard for Ben Sherratt.
Oh, beautiful. All right. Now we're going to Ottawa.
Anyway.
And this is why this is fucky, because Ottawa, not any farther south than Montreal.
Oh, really?
It's just west.
Oh, but they're on like the same like latitude.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Stupid.
It's kind of dumb.
Uh,
Wow.
not the only pair of cities to be doing this in the east or in the Atlantic.
Well, Minneapolis and St. Paul are probably also
They're probably close.
on the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
latitude
But
as well. Unless they're split north to south, I guess.
no,
but-
they're not. They're east.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That river runs north. to
Well, that's
south.
not the Atlantic anyway.
No. Ottawa 1-2 this week.
All right.
You know these games because they played the Central.
I remember one of them specifically.
They started the week by getting shut out by Nashville.
They ended the week getting shut out too.
Yeah, I know they did.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything to say about that.
Yeah.
Shots were actually closed. They didn't actually get outshot. Cam Talbot had a 9-1-7. So
It's not even that bad.
no, it's not
Yeah.
that bad, and they just lost 3-0. And then Forsberg played in the game against Arizona, which they won 5-3. Even though it was 5-3, he did only have an 8.97, so not even.
I mean, that's not great, but
No.
it's not terrible.
No,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. It's like it's not that good.
No.
They were 1 for 4 on the power play, 1 for 2 on the penalty kill.
Right on.
DeBrincat had a goal and assist.
Good.
They outshot Arizona 47-29.
Sweet. Yes, they did. I was just looking at it right now.
And then Colorado. They went to Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And
What happened in that game?
not well. Pretty bad.
Yeah.
They lost 7-0.
Yep.
That was a bad
They lost by a touchdown.
bad day.
Yeah.
Bad fit day. And you have your captain just going, that was embarrassing.
That was embarrassing.
Yeah.
I
so
didn't like that.
they're 19-20-3 for 41 points. I don't got anything more to say about them. Listen to that dog drink.
And she's done. All right.
All right. Yeah.
Sorry, I like to pause every time she's drinking her water.
They're bad. They're 41 points. They're 7th.
I mean, they're not like you said 19, 20, and 3, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not even like that horrible of a record. Really, I mean, they're close to being 500, but
They're close, but they're not.
they're not though. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
All right. We're going to go a little farther south to Toronto.
Who's on the same latitude as Boston?
You'd think that, but it's not them.
Oh, okay.
It's not them.
That's not them. All right.
Buffalo. You're close. You're halfway there.
Buffalo.
All right. 1-2.
Buffalo.
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 1-2 this
1 and 2.
They are 26-11-7 overall. They have 59 points. That is good for second place.
Yeah, they're not going to catch Boston.
No, because Boston has 70.
Yeah.
Not including today.
Yeah. Yeah.
They started their week by beating Nashville 2-1.
Connor, right now, Boston's losing in the first round.
No, it's the second.
Right now.
Um,
Whoever, well, I guess they would play either Pittsburgh or Washington. So
yeah.
it's hard to have confidence in those two teams.
It's
so,
impossible to have confidence
Yeah.
in those two teams. All right, 2-1. Matt Murray played very well, only giving up 1 goal. John Tavares had a goal and assist in that game.
I'm so happy Matt Murray is playing well this year.
Then they lost to Detroit,
All right.
1-4.
I mean, hey, look, even like hot teams have a bad game every once in a while.
0-3 on the power play, 3 for 5 on the penalty kill. Sandin had a goal, and they outshot Detroit 33-23.
Huh.
Then they finished the week by losing to Boston, which
Well,
again,
yeah,
no shame,
no shame in
no
that
shame
one,
in that. Actually, Grzelcyk scored with a minute 23
To take the lead.
to take the
to
lead
win the game. Yeah.
So they could feel hard done by not getting a point out of that.
Yeah. Not at least getting that loser point.
3-4. Bunting had a goal and an assist, and they got outshot 21-34. So yes, Boston. They could feel hard done by, but Boston outshot them.
It was a close game. I'm sure they're mad, but there's no shame in that.
7 for 9 on the penalty kill. John Tavares is their top player with 1 goal and 3 assists.
Awesome.
I could talk about this with like the discipline news later on.
You lack discipline.
Bunting got away with kicking at Trent Frederick.
Oh, he did. Yeah. Right. I saw that. Yeah.
No discipline at all. Nothing. Not a fine. Nothing. And Trent Frederick, one, is having a career year for him.
Yeah.
Also, is not afraid to throw down.
Nope.
I feel if Frederick
turn around and like slash him right in the shin or something.
He slashed the hell out of him. But if he would I feel like if he actually realized what happened,
probably be a lot more mad.
He would have pummeled his face in. And also we had a Evander Kane incident already.
Right. Yep.
You don't kick at another player when you have knives.
You have knives on your feet. I mean, the Evander Kane thing, that was a freak accident. That was no one's fault.
Yeah.
But still, your point remains.
You kicked.
You have a big knife on your foot.
So the whole point of this game.
You play on ice. Yeah, you have ice skates on.
It's the whole entire point of this game. He should have been suspended.
Well, George Peros is in charge of the players.
Player safety is stupid. Again, this is
Put Paul Correa in charge of player safety.
If he can remember how to.
I don't think he's had any mental effects. Chris Pronger, don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, Chris Pronger took that slap shot to the chest and that stopped his heart.
Well, he's still standing.
Yeah.
Much like shout out to fellow Pittsburgh native DeMar Hamlin. I hope you're doing well. You're out of the hospital.
He's out of the hospital. Yeah.
I know he's still on oxygen, but
still.
he's alive. So if you guys didn't see that, that was insane a couple of weeks ago.
Oh my gosh.
In the NFL, but he's okay, thankfully.
All right. Speaking of Hamlin, we're going to go to Buffalo.
Oh, right. He plays for the Bills. Duh, Bert. Duh. Yeah.
1-3 this week.
Oh.
And they lost today, too.
Oh, come on.
If Buffalo keeps having these good months, bad months, they're not going to the playoffs.
No. You got to string a few good months together.
Right, because, again, October was great. November was crap. December, great. If January's crap.
You still have time. You still have a couple of weeks in January to turn it around.
But they are 21, 18, and 2.
Still over 500.
44 points. All that's games in hand that you had.
They still have a bunch of games in hand.
No, not as much anymore.
Oh.
They spoiled that.
Oh, yeah. I guess they played 4 games this week. Sorry, I'm yawning, guys.
They're spoiling all those games in hand that they have because they are tied for 4th now.
Okay. They're still there, though.
Yeah.
They're still there.
But they, again, lost a lot of ground on 3rd. They could have been. Yeah. They could have been right there. Bert talked about the first game where they got shut out by Philadelphia.
That's pretty shameful, honestly.
It really is.
Philly's really bad this year. They had a good week, but they're really bad.
Now the rest of these next 2 losses, no shame in, because one, they played them very close. It was a close loss to Seattle that I talked about earlier, and a game that you haven't talked about yet, a very close loss to Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Where they outshot Winnipeg 41-27.
They did.
Hellebuck stood on his head.
Yes, he did.
And then they finished the week by beating Nashville 5-3.
Yeah.
Power play wasn't that great. It was only 2 for 14. Tuck had 2 goals in the Seattle game. That was very back and forth the entire time. Olofsson had a goal and 2 assists in the Winnipeg game. And then Okposo had it was a goal in the Nashville game, but it ended up being the game-winning shorthanded goal.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That last 5th goal was empty net. So
gotcha.
They don't get top player.
Yeah, going 1-3. It's kind of hard to have a top
Can't
player.
really do it. Next up is Boston.
Boston.
They're not the team with the same latitude, or longitude,
Latitude.
whatever. Latitude. They're not that team. They're not those two teams. Sorry.
You're not that team, bro.
Not that team, bro.
You're not that team.
You're not Boston.
Not Boston.
You're Detroit.
Talk about Boston first.
All right. 1-1 this week. Talked about both those games. Getting shut out by Seattle to start the week.
Shameful.
And they beat.
That's not shameful, I guess.
They beat Toronto to finish the week. In the Toronto game, they were actually wearing the Meth Bears.
Hell
Looked
yeah.
really good.
Meth Bears for the rest of the year.
Grizzly got that game winner. In the Seattle game, which was crazy. This is another face-off stat. 41 face-offs.
Mm-hmm.
Boston won 30 of them.
Only 41 face-offs?
Only
that seems pretty
yeah.
low to me. Yeah.
Again, agreed.
30-11 in face-offs.
30-11.
That's pretty crazy.
So what happens when you have Bergeron?
Krejci and Bergeron, yeah.
They are 33, 5, and 4 for 70 points.
Shut up, Boston. Whatever. I don't care. Shut up.
Now, on the same latitude as Detroit.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. I guess Detroit is pretty far north.
But it was one of those things where, like, you had to go into the second group of numbers. So they're like,
yeah.
They're both on, like, the 46th, 47th, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And then you have to go into that second group to actually figure out which one's farther north. This was way harder than I thought it was going to be.
You had to look at so many numbers, you guys.
I had to look at maps.
I had to look at charts and, like, decide where the places, latitudes, and longitudes.
Sea charts, man. I brought out a sextant.
I don't really understand how sextants work.
I don't either.
I've seen them. I'm like, I don't understand what that does.
The only reason I know what they are is because of Puzzle Pirates.
And it's just a funny name of a tool.
Yeah.
Because it says sex.
Detroit went 2-1 this week.
Hey, what?
All right.
This week.
We talked about two of these games.
Yeah, we did.
They beat Boston. Ugh.
No.
Beat Toronto.
There you go.
Sorry, we're just talking too much about Boston. They beat Toronto. They lost to Columbus.
Yeah, they did.
But they beat Winnipeg 7-5.
They did. Yeah.
They beat Winnipeg and Toronto, and then lost to Columbus.
They beat two really good teams and lost to Columbus.
Yep. Mo Cedar had 4 assists in the Winnipeg win. They also got outshot 37-23 in that game.
Sick.
Billy Huso is their top player for the Toronto game because he went 32 for 33 with a 9.7 average. 2 for 5 on their power play that week, or that game, sorry. And then, played bad against Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
Raymond had a goal. That's
Sweet.
good. Raymond's their top player. He's got 3 goals, 4 assists.
Lucas
Detroit
Raymond.
is 18, 16, and 7. They have 43 points. So that Buffalo's up.
They have so many loser points.
Yeah. Buffalo's a point above Detroit at this point. I said a point.
Point above.
Said point a lot, that sentence.
Point above to this point.
I don't like it.
Point.
Point.
Braden Point.
Because we're going to talk about Tampa Bay right
Hell
now.
yeah. I knew it was coming.
3-0 this week. Doing great. 27-13-1. They got 55 points, so they're solidly in third.
Mm-hmm.
It goes 55-44.
Yep. Big old drop off.
Columbus, you talked about their 6-3 win.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about that 5-4 win, and then they also beat St. Louis 4-2. Their power play 6 for 9. Nice. Kucherov in the Columbus game had 2 goals, 2 assists. Bert already talked about how Tampa Bay outshot them.
Mm-hmm.
Vancouver, Stamkos had a goal and assist. He is at .499 for goals on his career.
He won't score another one this year.
No, of course not. Stamkos. What do you expect? And speaking of
He
points,
never scores.
Speaking of points, Braden Point had 2 goals and an assist in the St. Louis game. Kucherov is their top player with 3 goals and 4 assists.
It's really strange. Tampa Bay, I feel like, is quietly having a good year. Like, nobody's really talking about Tampa Bay.
No, it's because it is
they're being overshadowed by Boston, and obviously Toronto has a better record. But
Yeah, that's what it is. They're being overshadowed by Boston, and they're solidly in third place.
But I think everybody should still remember this is still a really good team
it's
that
also
can
kind of
certainly beat someone in the playoffs.
it's also kind of expected at this point.
Yeah, I guess nobody's surprised.
Right.
I don't think
It's
anybody's
gonna be
surprised.
it's gonna be a rematch from the playoffs last year.
Yeah, they're going to beat Toronto again, and then they're probably going to beat Boston, and then be in the Eastern Conference Finals. And then everybody will be like, "Oh,
yeah,
great, they're back again," and then they'll probably go to the Stanley Cup Final again. Honestly,
it'll be Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tampa Bay, Lightning finals.
I hope we get an all Florida Super Bowl. Jacksonville versus Tampa Bay.
Oh my God!
And then Jacksonville wins.
Of course, Jacksonville wins.
Slaying Tom Brady once and for all. Just kidding. Tom Brady will have to go through the Giants, which he cannot do.
Nope. Learned that multiple times.
He's gonna win. I know he is. I
No,
hate
he
him
won't.
so much.
He
I just
won't.
wish he
He
would
won't.
go away.
He won't.
I'm just so scarred by Tom Brady. Go Stillers.
Florida's last team we can talk about.
I have a question. Is Miami the southernmost point of America? Not including I don't know where Hawaii is by comparison, but
no, I mean,
is there points farther south than Texas?
Major city, I believe it is Miami.
Mm.
But you still have the Florida Keys, which are farther south.
Oh, right. I forgot that there's islands.
So it's gonna be the Keys.
Well, I wonder how far south it is compared to LA or San Diego.
It's farther south.
Is it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I hope so, as I'm saying.
I don't know why I just thought of that. Yeah.
Because I'm saying this super confidently. I really hope so. I'm pretty sure it is farther south.
Interesting. Okay, I don't know why that popped into my. You were just talking about going north to south.
Yeah. Florida was 2-1 this week.
Hey, a good week for Florida.
20-4.
That's not good.
They also have 44 points.
Nice.
So they're tied with Buffalo.
Hell yeah.
It's really, looking at Buffalo for squandering a chance to extend it.
Nah. Yeah, it's Buffalo, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Even though they're better, they're still Buffalo.
Yeah, they're still Buffalo.
They're Buffalo until they're not.
Buffaloing it up, just like the Los Angeles Chargers charging it up. Sorry, we keep talking about football, but the football playoffs are happening right now. So,
Colorado, they beat them 5-4.
Yes, they did.
I genuinely don't know anymore. Is it Kachuk or Tochuk?
It's Kachuk. You don't say the T. You've never said the T. Only you say the T. And then you got me doing it because you did it so much.
Well, it got to the point I was doing it out of spite for so long, and now I genuinely don't know.
No, it is Kachuk.
All right, Kachuk had 2 goals in that game. They lost to Vegas. Don't really have anything to say about them in that game. And then they beat Vancouver to finish the week.
That's not that hard to do.
Which Ekblad had a goal and an assist. They were also 5 for 8 on the power play. So
all right.
3 teams going over 500 for their power plays.
Good for them. I do not.
Barkov and Kachuk both have 2 goals and 2 assists on this week.
All right.
All right, news-wise, for Boston, Pavel Zacha signed a 4-year, $4.75 million deal.
I forgot about that, yeah.
So that's good. Good for him.
It's a fair deal for him. He's played pretty well for Boston.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's played very well. I forgot his first name, but Gergensons.
Oh,
for Buffalo.
Zemgus.
Yes.
Zemgus.
I knew it was a cool name.
Yeah.
Gergensons on Friday, he missed that game with an illness. He should be back soon. I don't know if he played tonight, but we'll find out later. Philip Ronick for Detroit is out on that Friday game with an upper body. I believe he played on Sunday.
Bod.
It was just that game.
So it was just that game.
It was just that
tweaked
game.
Something or had a bruise or something.
Spent on Tuesday, Florida sent Spencer Knight to the IR for an undisclosed injury.
Bummer.
So Bobrovsky actually
You're back on the case, Bob.
He played all 3 games.
Went 2-1. Hey.
Except for the Colorado game, was above 900.
Hey.
For Montreal, Brendan Gallagher is out 6 to 8 weeks for a lower body. Now this injury occurred last week, but it was official.
They figured out what it was.
Yes. 6 to 8 weeks for him.
Yeah,
it does suck. What also sucks is Artem Zub for
Ottawa.
Ottawa. He just came back from that broken jaw. He's out with a lower body injury. He's only day to day.
He hurt his jaw again. His lower jaw.
His shut
also
up.
known as his butt.
Boo. And then
Boo.
for Toronto, Holmberg and McMahon on Saturday they missed that game due to an illness. Both of them got sick. They
Not
should
Vince
be back.
McMahon.
Vince McMahon just strolling down Stanford.
85-year-old Vince McMahon.
Well, WWE's right here.
That's true. Well, it's not right here. Don't dox us.
It's not right here. But
It's down 95 a little ways, but it's around us.
yeah. Right here in Connecticut.
Something weird just happened. Oh, some Saudi Arabians bought WWE.
What?
Yeah,
Huh?
or they're, I don't know. Something weird just happened with the WWE.
I learned Spencer Knight's from Darien.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
What? I know.
You know what's really strange? I watched 90 Day Fiancé with another one of our friends, and there's like a weird proportion of people from Connecticut
It's such
on
a
that
small
show.
state.
I know. There's like 25% of them are from Connecticut.
Way too many.
I know. I know.
A lot of weirdos around here.
It's just a lot of rich weird people in this state
Oh yeah. And I'm gonna
that are like maybe just bringing foreign. There's one guy that's like maybe brought a foreign prostitute.
I
that he
mean,
just married,
like
which more power to him. But
the Arizona Cardinals guy went the other way.
Cliff Kingsbury. That was such a weird thing that they said during the playoff game.
Cliff Kingsbury.
This is just NFL news, but he got fired by the Arizona Cardinals, and apparently he told teams that were like, oh, maybe you want to be an offensive coordinator. He was like, I have one-way ticket to Thailand. I'm not interested in coming back right now. Like, what are you going to Thailand for?
I want to know why you go to Thailand.
Well, I saw people online were like, okay, everybody knock it off. There's a lot of like golf resorts in Thailand. That's probably what he's going to do.
Sure, the capital used
That's
to
what
be
he's
called Bangkok.
That's
so
what he's going to say he's doing.
come on.
Wow.
I know.
This man got a new phone, does not know how to silence it.
No, I don't.
He's an old-ass man over here.
Yeah. Just hit over 30 and don't know what to do with it.
Technology is confusing.
I'm going to finish this by saying Tampa Bay, Sergachev got fined.
Oh, yeah, we're still talking about the
This is the last thing.
Okay.
Sergachev got fined the maximum fine, $5,000, for punching.
a baby.
Oh, shoot. Is he Gardner? He's on Vancouver.
Oh, Garland.
Garland. Yeah, Connor Garland.
Connor Garland.
Punched him right in the mouth.
He punched Gardner Minshew right in the mouth.
Didn't take the glove off. This was like just a little scrum.
Oh, he just socked him right
straight
in the face.
cold cocked him right in the face.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Front of the ref, nothing was called.
Well, yeah, he got fined $5,000.
I know.
That's a lot.
For me.
For us.
For me, that'd be crippling.
I'd be like, I can't pay that.
Yeah.
All right, let's finish this week off by talking about the Central. And we always got to start with the Arizona Coyotes because they went 0-4 this week.
Woo!
Ow, ow! Losing to San Jose 4-2, where Jake Chychrun had 2 assists. Losing to Ottawa 5-3, where Genther had a goal and an assist.
Well, what also happened in the Ottawa game?
What?
Oh, Clayton Keller got a 5-minute major.
Oh, what'd he do? I didn't watch this game.
He he cross-checked someone in the face.
Oh, sick. Good job.
You got a 5-minute major in a game misconduct.
Yeah, you deserved it.
Yeah.
They then lost to Minnesota 2-1, and then lost to Winnipeg 2-1. Those games were at least close.
Yeah.
I guess all their games were kind of close. But in the Winnipeg game, they were 1 for 2 on the penalty kill. And Vejmelka, 22-24. So
Yeah,
a
he's
little
great.
silver lining
Yeah.
right there. Don't have a top player.
No.
Chicago.
Certainly not Clayton Keller.
No. Chicago only played 2 games this week. They were 1-1, beating Colorado 3-2.
Colorado sucks.
They're injured to holy hell.
So is half of the Metro.
It's sort of the Penguins, yeah, that's true. But
Yeah,
I don't hear anybody giving the Penguins
No.
leeway.
I don't think they should be giving Colorado as much leeway as they are.
Here's the thing: Colorado just won the Stanley Cup. Everybody's gonna be like, whatever. At least this year, they'll be like, yeah, whatever. They just won the championship. They're still like kind of in the playoff hunt, though.
Right.
They're not that far.
And
out.
they're not even. I think they're in like the top 5 with like man hours lost. There are other teams.
They're way up there. Yeah.
But there are other teams that have.
Well, yeah. I mean, Columbus is injured.
Columbus, Philadelphia, and Washington are all above them in man hours lost.
Yeah, I don't know where Pittsburgh is at this point, but they're up there too.
Washington will fall
Pittsburgh's
back.
Always up there.
Washington will fall back with Backstrom and Wilson back, but
True. Yeah, but yeah.
It's just the high-profile names that are out.
Well, hold on. Let's finish with Chicago, then we can talk about Colorado more.
Yeah, that's my fair.
Mrazek was 31 of 33 against Colorado. Then, of course, Colorado lost 8-5 to Seattle. Hey, look, Taylor Radish had a goal and 2 assists in that game.
Good for him.
Seth Jones, 3 assists. Domi and Taze, each a goal and an assist, but nobody was playing goalie that game.
Yep, nope.
And Taylor Radish is their top player of the week with 2 goals, 2 assists.
I forgot with Detroit that they waived Nedeljkovic.
Yeah, oh man. Yeah, Nedeljkovic got waived. He did not get claimed. He was already in the minors for a conditioning stint.
Yes.
He did not get claimed, so apparently he's just staying there for the foreseeable future.
But that's so. Mrazek actually made me remember this because.
Toronto did that with Mrazek last year.
No, it's more. No one should question Carolina on what they do with their goalies.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that
with
is fair.
Mrazek and Nedeljkovic, no one questioned.
You're just like, all right, bye.
Bye.
It's like, what are you guys doing? Like, oh, that's what you were doing.
Yeah, that's you know what you were doing.
You guys know what you're doing.
Okay, yeah.
Or on the flip side, Carolina just has a much better defense than those 2 teams.
Well, that's true, but Mrazek in front of Toronto, like Toronto or behind Toronto.
That's true.
Toronto
He didn't play bad with Toronto.
He didn't play bad, but he didn't play
He
good.
play good. He was pretty middle of it. Well, he played bad for stretches.
Yes, exactly. So,
but Toronto's defense was pretty suspect last year at some points.
At some points, they were still one of the better defenses.
You remember eventually they got Mark Giordano. They didn't have him the entire year.
Oh, that's true.
So he solidified their defense more once he got there, but yeah. Anyway, let's talk about Colorado now. They lost to Florida, as Clay already mentioned, 5-4. 0-2 in the penalty kill in that game. JT Compher had a goal and an assist. Ronsonen a goal and an assist. Losing to Chicago 3-2. McKinnon 2 assists in that game for Colorado. But hey, you know what? They ended the week on a high note by crushing Ottawa 7-0.
Crushing.
Lakeinen and Newhook each had 2 goals and an assist.
Yep.
O'Connor and McKinnon each had 2 assists, and Rottinen had 2 goals to his name.
Yeah.
Rottinen he's doing everything he possibly can to keep Colorado above water.
On his back.
I mean, I'm sure he feels better with McKinnon back now, but they're still missing like Nichushkin. They're missing.
Helm is done for the year.
Yeah, well, he's
probably
a little less important than guys like Nichushkin,
but with what he did in the playoffs last year.
That's fair. Yeah. Their top players are Rottinen with 3 goals, 2 assists, McKinnon with a goal and 4 assists. So, I don't know. Colorado, I'm guessing, is just trying to wade water a little bit until they get a little bit more healthy, but not looking great currently. Dallas 1-1 this week, beating the Islanders in a shootout 2-1, where Ottinger was 27-28. Losing to the Rangers in overtime 2-1, where Ottinger was 29 for 30-1.
Yeah.
And then losing to Calgary 6-5, as we already discussed, where Calgary nearly blew a 6-1 lead.
Nearly blew it.
Pavelski 2 goals and an assist in that game. Robertson 2 assists. Sagan sighting, goal and an assist in that game, and Heiskanen 2 assists in the loss. But Ottinger is their top player, 1-0-1 this week with a 143 goals against and a 949 save percentage.
Good for Otter.
Yeah, good for Otter. Minnesota up next, 2-0-1 this week. They have, of course, as I already mentioned, had a trip to the Big Apple, where they lost to the Rangers in a shootout 4-3. Sam Steele 2 assists. Marc-Andre Fleury 40 of 43 in that game. They then beat the Islanders 3-1. Zuccarello 2 assists. Kaprizov a goal and an assist. Gustafsson 19 of 20 in that game. And then they beat Arizona 2-1 in a pretty close game where Marc-Andre Fleury was 27 of 28.
Good for
and
him.
In case you guys hadn't guessed, their goalies are the star players this week.
Yes.
Gustafsson and Fleury, 2-0-1 between them with a 1.46 goals against and a 9.47 save percentage between the two of them. What you looking up?
The Mrazek
Stuff.
thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just because I remembered that he, played for Carolina, but I forgot which direction he went from Carolina to Detroit. So it was Detroit to Carolina.
Oh, then Carolina to Toronto, Toronto to Chicago.
Yes.
Yeah.
While what goalie were we just talking about?
Nedeljkovic.
Nedeljkovic was Carolina to Detroit.
Straight to Detroit,
Yes.
yeah.
All right.
Nashville up next, 1-3 this week. They started off strong, shutting out Ottawa 3-0, where Forsberg had a goal and an assist. Saros had 38 saves. Then losing to Toronto in a pretty close game, 2-1.
Yep, very close
Saros
game.
had another good game, 33 of 35. Losing a pretty shameful game to Montreal, 4-3.
Hey, they were 2-2.
Yeah, but they're not that overall.
No.
1-3 on the penalty kill. 1 for 3 on the penalty kill was Nashville in this game. Parsonen had a goal and an assist. He's like a rookie player who's coming.
He's quietly chugging along.
He's
doing very
doing
well.
He's having a good season so far. They lost to Buffalo then to finish off the week 5-3. Johansson or Johansson, however you say.
It's not the other one who changes it.
Oh, that's true. So this one's he's American, so it's Johansson.
Yeah.
A goal and an assist in that game. Parsonen, as I just mentioned, was their top player this week with a goal and 4 assists.
Wow.
Good for him. Nashville overall, bad week.
Bad week.
Also bad week, St. Louis.
Yup.
1-2, beating Calgary in overtime to begin the week, where Robert Thomas had a goal and an assist.
Shameful.
It is
By
kind of
Calgary's-
shameful
by
for
Calgary.
Calgary because St. Louis is just a mess. Buchnevich also had a goal and an assist in this game, but remember as well, St. Louis is pretty banged up too. They're
Yes.
missing O'Reilly and Tarasenko.
Yes, they are.
Calgary then turned around and beat St. Louis 4-1, where they outshot them, as I believe Clay mentioned, 40-26.
Mm-hmm.
And then finished off the week, as Clay mentioned, losing to Tampa Bay 4-2. Not really anything else to say about that.
It was a close game. That last goal was an empty net, but whatever.
Close game, yeah. Jordan Kyrou is their top player with a goal and 3 assists. And we're going to finish off.
That top line actually was the one that beat Calgary.
Oh, Kyrou, Thomas, and Buchnevich.
Yeah, they're the ones that beat
That's
Calgary.
a pretty good
Yeah.
line.
It's
That's a
great
pretty good
line.
line, yeah, of 3 pretty young guys, too. I
Mm-hmm.
think the oldest one is Buchnevich at like 25.
Right.
So, and I don't know about Buchnevich's contract, but they have Thomas and Kyrou locked in for the next 7 years.
Yep.
I think they just signed both of them in this past offseason. And I want to say Buchnevich is signed for at least 3 more years. So
Well, did they extend him after New York sent
I
him?
think so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, but I don't remember what that contract was. But I'm almost certain that when he was traded from New York to St. Louis,
They extended
they
him.
extended him.
Such a stupid trade.
For Sammy Blais,
Who
who I do not think has a goal for the Rangers. He did get grievously injured
Last
last
year.
year. And then this year, he's just been in and out of the lineup. Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about Winnipeg. 3-1 this week. Started off the week by losing to Detroit 7-5.
Yeah.
Ehlers, Pionk, and Scheifele each had a goal and an assist in that game, while Perfetti had 2 assists. They then beat Buffalo 4-2, where they were outshot 41-27.
Yep.
Still won, though. Nick Ehlers, 2 assists. Kyle Connor, a goal and an assist. They then beat Pittsburgh 4-1, where Mark Scheifele had 2 goals. Cole Perfetti had 3 assists, and DeMillo had 2 assists.
Who?
DeMillo?
I legitimately don't know who he is.
Oh, he's a defenseman.
Okay, good for him.
And then they finish off the week by beating Arizona in a fairly close game, 2-1, where Connor Hellebuck made 20 of 21 saves. Their top players, they have 2, are Nick Ehlers, 2 goals, 4 assists. I believe he returned this week for the first time for a while.
Last week, I think.
Last week maybe, but this week he had
Last week
a
he
big
played
impact.
like half of the week.
Yeah. 2 goals, 4 assists for Nick Ehlers this
Yeah.
week. And Cole Perfetti had 6 assists this week.
Good for him.
Now, just a couple of pieces of news in the Central Division. Robert Bortuzzo of St. Louis heading to the IR with a lower body injury. Bummer.
I don't like him.
Okay, fair enough. Because he played for the Penguins.
Oh, I thought... No. I might be thinking of someone else who has a similar name that is basically one of their goons.
Oh, it might be Bortuzzo.
Okay, cool.
Minnesota re-signed Matthew Boldy.
Yes, they did.
To a 7-year, $7 million per year contract extension.
I didn't realize that was the terms.
Yeah. So 7 years, $49 million, which
Pretty
works out to
good. Yeah, no.
$7 million per year. He's having a pretty good year for them.
I just saw that they re-signed him. I didn't see anything about terms.
Yeah. The terms came out earlier today.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he's 21, having a pretty good year. So
Yeah.
they locked him down for the foreseeable future.
Good for them.
Minnesota's still going to have cap problems moving forward, but at least they got him under contract.
Yeah, I mean, when did the Sutter and Parise things
They're
drop?
still bad for the next, I think, 2 years. I think between the two of them, I believe it counts
I think
like $14 million against the cap.
this year and next year are like the worst of it.
I think next year and the year after are the worst
Okay.
of it. I could be wrong, but this year, next year, and I think the year after are bad. And
Yes.
then after that, it drops to like $1 million or
Yeah.
something. So the next couple of years, they're going to be in cap hell. But they had at least enough wiggle room to get Boldy done.
Yep.
They have Kaprizov under contract through all of that.
Yep.
So, yeah.
See what
So,
happens.
and hey, they're playing pretty well this year. So
Yeah, with what they have.
seems like they'll make the playoffs. So we'll see what happens from there. Anything
Right.
can happen in the playoffs. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. As
Yes,
always,
we're done.
We're done for this week. This beer is really good.
I drank both of them. They're
Yeah,
tasty.
they're pretty light. If you guys like sours, you'd like this. We can be found wherever podcasts are found.
Yep.
Give us a rate, review, subscribe wherever applicable. And we'll see you next week for week 15,
Week 15.
of the NHL season.
We're closing in.
We're chugging along. I think we're about halfway through.
We're over halfway.
I think we're over halfway.
We
All teams
just-
have played over 40 games
We
now.
just hit over halfway.
But yeah, so we're keeping chugging along, and we're happy you're here with us.
Yes.
So we'll see you next week at the same puck time.
Same puck place.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.